Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing and I'll be your host. We're going to be talking about a wide range of issues on this program, and if this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. Today I want to talk briefly about this man, Benjamin Creme, and the Benjamin Creme that I knew. I came across Benjamin Creme's book, Maitreya Mission Volume 2, back in 1993. And to be honest with you, the first time I read it for a couple of days. I hated it. I don't know what it was that turned me off about it, but I didn't like it. And I wanted to return the book. So I put the receipt back in the book for a time. And then I picked it back up and couldn't put it down for almost a year. I probably read that book every day, hours sometimes. It just resonated with me so well. But I met Benjamin Creme face-to-face when he did his annual tour. He would go to New York and then LA and then San Francisco. I first met him in San Francisco in 1997, and then he would have a conference every year, and I went to the conference every year from 1997 to 2010. The two things that struck me the most about Benjamin Creme was, one, how generous he was with his time. As busy of a fella as he was, you could tell he was always busy. But he would always set down what he needed to do. He would always put it aside. And I saw many times people coming up to him, asking him for his advice on things, asking him questions. And he never shunned them. He never turned them away. He always took the time to talk to them. And he always found the time to be able to do that. But he always got everything else done, which was kind of amazing. But the other thing that struck me about Benjamin Creme was his absolute and utter detachment of people's reaction to this information. And I can't speak for the man because I'm not him, but from what I saw was a man who wasn't trying to convince anybody of anything. He didn't want anything from anybody. He didn't want money. He didn't want recognition. He didn't want anything. He was just sharing information, and from his perspective, it was up to them to believe it or not. He didn't really care. Believe me, he didn't. I could tell from driving him around, and when he was here in Atlanta, I drove him around a few times and spent time in the car with him, and we went and had lunch together. And he never wanted to convince anybody of anything. So when you watch these videos on YouTube and people talk about him and all these bad things that they say, I have a different perspective of the man. I saw a man with integrity. I saw a man who clearly believed in what he was talking about, and I found it very inspiring. Do I agree with everything he said? No. Did he say things that ticked me off from time to time? Absolutely. But when I went back and I looked at it and looked at it from another perspective, he was right most of the time, or probably all the time. And I'm not putting up this video to defend the man, because I know that that's not what he would have wanted. I'm only telling you this to give you a different perspective on him, because 99 times out of 100, most of the videos you see of him are so negative, and I don't see him that way. So I have a voice. I should be able to tell you what I think too, right? And, the funny thing was, when he came to Atlanta, I was a part of a group that put on the talk when he came, and I rented the sound system from a musician buddy of mine, and I was in charge of that and the lighting. But there was a fundamentalist Christian there who had a website, and of course he put a scathing review of the talk. But at the end of this guy's review, he talked about how when Benjamin Creme was overshadowed by Maitreya, and we'll talk about what overshadowing is later, but for the time being, he saw a shimmering golden light around Benjamin Creme. And he was totally convinced that Benjamin Creme had installed a sophisticated lighting system in there that cost tens of thousands of dollars to fool everybody. Well, the funny thing was, is I was the one that was in charge of the sound and the lighting. And the only trick lighting we had was I leaned back in my chair and I turned the lights, the fluorescent lights off in the room. So it was just the emergency lighting that was just kind of, because Benjamin Creme wanted the lights kind of low. But because of this guy's paranoia, he was convinced that Benjamin Creme was trying to trick him. It just wasn't true. But anyway, thank you for letting me share my side of the story, and I look forward to talking to you again in a different video.